guys, welcome back to Three Slips and Silly Points. I hope you're all padded up, all set for another exciting episode. Got Raj and Randeep here along with me. Hey guys.
Hello, hello.
Right, so much awaited, much promised content today. Finally, we slid in the conversations around the women cricket team, an amazing tournament for Indian women against South Africa.
Tournament? Just a bilateral, yeah.
It's covered across all three forms. It's been a while that I've seen a series where they've had all departments covered. You've got ODIs, Test, and T20s. I wish there were more Test matches with the way things were headed there.
Yeah.
But all in all,
I think at the moment
series.
women's calendar is not as packed as men's calendar. So many Premier Leagues, even like down under, they've stopped the tri series and stuff just because the calendar got too packed.
Yeah,
it's a pretty busy.
For the women's cricket.
No, for the men's.
No, as in for men's one, it's pretty packed. So women's is probably building up. In about a year or two, it'll get a bit busy, and then they won't be able to do these kind of long tournament or sort of series. Yeah,
their test formats were all interesting, right? Because I think they only go for 4 days. But they have longer days. Because when I watched that innings, I was like, whoa, how did they get to 600 plus runs in 1 day? But turns out, I mean, it's still crazy amount because when I say it's got more overs, I think it's only got like 10 more overs than a normal game. I think men's have 90 overs per day, or is it 80?
90.
I think 90, yeah.
And these guys go for 100, I think, in a day.
Yeah, 98. It's not a huge difference, but I think the pace at which they were scoring
was just crazy.
The run from the one-day series just continued into tests.
Yeah, they forgot to switch the format. Like,
it was such a demolishment.
Yeah.
It was a crazy demolishment because they made 603 for 6 declared. Then they got them all out for 266, and then they got followed on 337, and they're like, oh cool, just a cool 37, and we're done.
It's the other cool part, right? Like, we haven't seen a follow on in so many years also.
That's true. It had every aspect of the game that is missing out in the current men's cricket world, especially in the Test series. There's no one that enforces follow on, and here are girls showing, hey guys, you should enforce
this follow. Is how it's done.
Get on with the traditions, boys. Come on, bring the follow on back.
No, but hats off. They played really well. Shefali Verma 205, Smriti 149, and then everyone was.
Wait, sorry, 2 seconds, Randeep. The opening batters, look at their strike rate for a Test match.
104 and 92. Yeah.
It's unreal.
That is crazy.
In the double handy with an over 100 strike rate. How crazy is that? 8 sixes.
Oh, wow.
23 fours and 27 fours.
Like if you see Shefali Verma bat, she's like a tiny person, but so aggressive when it comes to batting. She's almost like a Sehwag equivalent in the women's team. And I think from what I've read, like growing up, apparently, like she used to play with all the boys, but she'd like dress up like a boy to like fit in, and then she'd like play with them and train with them. And that's kind of where I think the aggressive nature of her cricket comes from.
And her partner on the other side, Smriti Mandhana, she's coming off a great series overall. She almost scored 3 centuries back to back in 1 day. So first 2 were big hundreds, and third one she got out in 90s.
Wow.
Very close in scoring 3 back-to-backs, and then switched the format. She didn't switch the gear. She just continued, hammered another century there.
And short of 150, unfortunately. She got a 149. Yeah.
Her batting style is real good to watch also. Like real classical. Like I'd say it's like if you open up a book, she has all of those shots in there, and it's real pleasing to watch.
Yeah. But hats off. I think they did really well.
The other standout for me is usually Jemima Rodriguez. Even she's real good to watch. I think on par, I reckon, if not the same as Smriti Mandhana also. I think in general, like I'm not super familiar with the women's cricket team in general, but I think these three, I've seen them since the last World Cup, and like I think when we didn't win that World Cup, they were really down.
Yeah.
And then I started following all of the interviews, and I think I've seen more of their cricket since then, and they're all, I think skill-wise, they're all up there now, and with more games happening, they're all sort of growing in confidence, and I think more viewership will come in, and eventually, I think we'll see a lot more of them. Because I think back in the day, we only knew of the one Indian captain, right, Mithali Raj.
Yeah, that's it. Now we've got a lot more players.
Exactly.
And introduction of women's IPL, WPL, is actually helping the game. I remember an interview from the previous Australian captain back in the day that, with men's IPL introduced, you could see how far Indian cricket had grown. And she was comparing that now that women's IPL's there, in about 3 to 4 years, Indian team's going to be becoming a really strong side. And this is all in the making, right? What we're seeing now is the results.
It's not just women's IPL, right? We've also got women's BBL here, which also has a crazy amount of following growing in Australia. So it's real good to see. And again,
is there a UK version of the Premier League or not?
There probably is. I just don't know.
I think there is.
There has to be, surely.
Yeah. We'll
get the major teams. Stat guys can check us out. So the major teams or the ones bringing the more bucks have these kind of Premier Leagues to foster the up and coming and really discover talent, which is really good.
Yeah,
it makes it a very competitive game. Things such as make it 600.
Yeah, oh gosh, how good.
And doing follow-ons, which is oh my god.
People.
What was the last men's follow-on? I can't even remember.
I don't know.
A long time ago.
One, I don't think our batters have any like patience to bat for that long. Like we haven't gotten 600s in a game in so long.
Yeah, I think it used to be a thing of the past where you had the first team that goes full guns blazing or plays digs deeper, scores of 500, 600, because you need that amount of score to enforce a follow-on.
Yeah.
Without a massive lead, there's no point enforcing a follow-on and then having to bowl out the opponents again.
And because the problem is, if they do end up batting a lot longer in the second innings, then you have to bat in the worst conditions possible.
Yeah.
And that's where it becomes a risky proposition. Whereas these guys, I think even at the end of the first innings of South Africa, they had like close to 400 runs remaining, or like 300, like over 350 runs or something remaining. And they end up scoring 373, and they only had to get 37 to win it.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish this whole follow-on comes back into men's cricket as well.
But that would mean the pitches would need to be a little bit flatter on the first 3 days. Only then it would happen.
That's how pitches used to be. Yeah. Remember, it used to be a really good batting track. Ball swings in the first session, then turns to be a good batting track for the next day and a half.
Yeah.
And then starts to deteriorate, spin, and eventually become a crazy wicket to bat on the day 5. And again, for all of this, the test match has to last for 5 days, which rarely happens.
That's the thing right now. I think the test matches are almost 3-day only kind of games. Fourth day is an optional day, and fifth is I've like barely seen it happening unless you're playing in Pakistan, India, or Sri Lanka.
For the Ashes, for the Australia tour of India. Sorry, India tour of Australia, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, India tour of Australia.
Yeah, India visiting Australia towards the end of this year. They're selling tickets for the first 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. First 3 days. Oh my god. I think when that game kicks off and it's still undecided on like second, just past second and a half day. Like, okay, they're gonna open up third, fourth, and then possibly fifth. But yeah, it'll be interesting. But then why is that? Why is it just where like it's more competitive? There's within 3 days we're able to get a result, or they're just dropping like flies.
Yeah, it all comes down to pitches, and I think the change in the whole test approach. You see a lot of players going aggressive, bowlers going
Baseball.
aggressive. Yeah, baseball, which I think is
You said
dead
players.
now.
I was like, wait, a team that decides that. We are gonna do
but
this.
I actually think England made it popular, but
Oh
I
yeah,
think
correct.
all
Yeah.
teams have sort of adopted that way of playing. Just because the intention is not to actually get quicker runs, but I think the intention is to make
Throw
Test
them
cricket
off.
more interesting.
Yeah.
No. Make Test cricket more interesting in general, so more people would want to watch it. Because if people are just taking the ball in the bat and sitting on the pitch for the whole day, it's just boring now, given the new generation of watchers are all about T20, and then some third party leagues go into T10 now.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm very sure at some point they're going to be like T6 and just have like quick cricket games.
All right, the stats guys just come back, and so England, they now have what is called the 100. They've got a men's and women's version of that.
Yes.
Oh,
See,
okay.
and that's a whole different format also.
And I don't know if you guys have ever watched that game, but it's so confusing. They put up, so it's a 5-ball over, not a 6-ball over. And they don't even call it as an over. They count it at balls, right? You go 100 balls in the innings. So 5, 10, and it's a bit confusing as well.
Yeah. It's essentially 20 overs of 5 balls, right?
Yeah.
Also, is that their BBL version?
Yes. Big Bash.
Oh.
But it's funny how T20 originated in England. Once it took off in the rest of the world, and now they wanted to reinvent themselves. So they scrapped the T20, and now they launched what is called as the 100.
Quite funny,
with the women's talking about the women's cricket, they've got their T20 World Cup in October this year.
Yeah, can't wait.
Which should be interesting.
Where's this?
Bangladesh, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Mirpur, Bangladesh.
So basically, we're going to see some spin wickets or highways. It'll be good fun.
Yeah, and another interesting thing that I've observed is they don't travel much. So the 5 one-days that happen, of whatever number of one-days, were all in Bangalore or Bengaluru. And the test and T20s happen in Chennai. So essentially, they base themselves in one place and play all the games there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So maximum rest, less travel,
less
maximum
travel.
rest.
That's it, right? Even with this World Cup as well, they're just floating across 2 stadiums.
But I think it's funny because Bangladesh only has 2 stadiums.
Probably, it's probably a legit.
Yeah. Because they usually in the men's T20s, I don't think Bangladesh can ever host all the games in Bangladesh. They usually share it, right, with like Sri Lanka or Pakistan or something.
Yeah.
Or India. Just because I think they only have like 2 or 3 grounds max.
Yeah.
And they'll have a lot more countries traveling. And I'm assuming women's World Cup's not going to have as many teams, right?
I don't think so. There's pretty much the top 6 or 8 teams that are battling it out. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 8 teams. So it should be an interesting few months leading into the tournament and the tournament itself. So October, we're going to talk much further on this.
Yes, please. But another little point. Did you guys see the bowling numbers for the first innings? 8 wickets taken by one person.
One player. Yeah. Oh, man. Again, it all shows that the talent is growing, raising, and there's a hat trick involved as well in that 8, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So all in all, a great way, great position, great form for the team to be in, leading into the T20 World Cup in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Talking about T20, thoughts about the recent India-Zimbabwe game that happened last night?
That's a bit. Did you guys see the highlights or anything with the game?
No, you have to catch up on highlights, but scoreline pretty much said it was a one-sided game.
It was a one-sided game, but I think weird decisions from India, I thought, where so if I watched the highlights, right, and Gill got to 50, and then to get to 50 to 66, he took about like 15 balls. So he slowed down for some reason a crazy amount. And I also thought, like, why did he open? He should have come one down when he has Abhishek Sharma in the 11.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you're on an explosive start and an anchor that comes in at one down, those two, Jaiswal and Abhishek, could have like just gone berserk at the top.
Yeah. And dropping Abhishek,
given he's the captain.
Yeah. Dropping Abhishek to that to one down
didn't help.
Surprised me as well, because he's had a pretty good game as an opener. I know Yashasvi and Shubman are the future opening pair, but if you're experimenting, you should start experimenting at all positions. So dropping Shubman to one down, play that anchor role at the fall of first wicket would have done wonders.
But I guess they're like, look, as long as we win the game, we're good.
But that's the thing. But that doesn't really matter. Even if they lost their series, but even if they experimented, then they're like, okay, we know what the next gen looks like. If the A team at the moment does, we need to swap a few things around. I think purely this is just, yes, the media would have got some headlines. Sorry, Pakistan media would have got some headlines, but like, oh my God, they lost. But the main aim, with no proper coach, Gigi just coming in, which we'll talk about later, is it's pure about experimenting. That, hey, if we've got Jaiswal and Shubman that have worked before, right? We know that they're solid. If we drop Abhishek, who not great, 10 off 9, not ideal, but
we keep saying drop. Sorry, people. We don't mean drop. We just mean moving him down.
That's what I said. Drop him one spot below. He's still in the team. And then Gaiwad killed it again. 49.
And that again is an anomaly, because he's also an opener who is not a traditional T20 opener either. So for me, I think Gaikwad, someone who needs that power play to sort of flourish and go over the inner field and pierce the boundaries, pierce the gaps to get the boundaries. But getting 48, 49 with a striker of 175, and I'm assuming he came in after the power play. That again, I think is a massive anomaly. I think that's a glitch in the matrix. Not going to take anything away from Gaikwad either. I love him. But I don't.
And all this is impacting Sanju Samson, right? Poor chap has had great run in IPL, a good prospect for Indian cricket team, but always struggles to either one is to get an opportunity. And he comes in with about 2 or 3 overs remaining, which is hard spot for him to shot. But he's got so much talent. He's one of those. He's probably going to be one of those underrated players that probably is we're not gonna see much of him in the international arena. But in IPL, he's all over it.
But he's like pretty much the next backup, isn't he? If Pant's down.
No, but that's the thing. He's been the next backup for a very long time. He's older than Pant.
True.
He was a backup to Dinesh Karthik. Prior to that, he was a backup to Dhoni. And now he's a backup to Pant. Like it's the classical case of Subramanian Badrinath.
Yeah.
He was a perpetual backup to all of the one downs that played since Dravid, then came Kohli, then he's gone now.
Poor guy.
Even yesterday,
that guy averaged 60 runs in first-class cricket, and he only got like 3 or 4 games at the international level.
Just shows how competitive it is, right? Just shows how competitive it is, and it's very hard.
Thoughts about
guess who was? Sorry, guess who was the man of the match?
Who was it?
I called it.
Mr. Sundar.
I was gonna jump in there. I was like, thoughts about Sundar where every other bowler was being pelted for runs. And this guy jumps and gets an amazing spell in, right? 3 wickets for 15 runs.
The key thing is, if you just look above, Ravi Bishnoi, who's meant to be a little more skilled than all other bowlers, and he got smashed around for 9 runs and over.
And our conversation from the T20 World Cup finals as to why Rohit did not use Shivam Dube and brought Aksar in, same economy.
But that 1 over could have, because the thing is, we shouldn't talk about the finals again, but I'll quickly add this, right? Like I think the batters got used to Axar because they saw him already for 3 overs. So then they just smoked him in that last over.
Yeah.
Whereas if you give him something different, they try go for it. If they get 26 runs, what was going to happen new with Axar? Yeah.
Oh,
that's funny.
Dubé. I think the core team joined in, Jaiswal, Samson, and Dubé, and it was nice to see that they were slotted straight into the mix. Feels they are part of that bigger picture for the future of Indian cricket team. But yeah, Dubé got a chance to bowl and was smoked for 27 runs.
Yeah.
But
I still don't mind it because just having him in the team, our batting lineup looks a lot longer.
Oh yeah.
Because now we only have 3 people who can't who are not legit batters anymore.
Not batters, right?
Yeah.
Bishnoi had a bad day. But other interesting, we had a go at Khalil in the previous episode compared with Mukesh. I was gutted to see Mukesh being dropped, but I think it's all part of experiment.
Yeah.
And Khalil being retained shows that he's one of those future prospects for the team.
Yeah. I mean, he's younger.
Yeah, Khalil had a good game yesterday. He's got 1 wicket, again 15 runs, while the rest of the squad was being pelted around for runs.
Yeah.
Except for Sundar, who also got 15 runs and 3 wickets.
Cool.
I hope he makes it, but it's a very challenging slot to get into. I hope he makes it, but he, as Raj said in the previous one, he needs to have a really good series,
Which I think he is on the way to have a good series. Yeah.
Now
I think 2 more ODIs,
yeah,
1 more,
2
more
more
T20s, 2 more T20s, yeah.
2 more T20s, and Mr. GG would be in the house.
Let's go.
Finally got confirmation. Finally got confirmation.
And now people are dating back to a few interviews from him on 1st of June, where he expressed, "No, I'd be keen to coach Team India," saying, he's been dropping hints all along. There's been rumors. All the dots have now been officially joined.
Yeah.
But I feel like it will be like if he lives up to whatever he's delivered so far, I think the Indian team is going to be a force. Well, I guess they're already a force, but I feel like they're going to level up.
Yeah.
But now I think to me, he's on the same level when it comes to disciplining people as Anil Kumble. And that was a bit of a misfire when it came to handling the senior players. So it'll be real interesting to see how he deals with like RohitSharma, Kohli, I guess even like Bumrah now.
I was reading an article, and again, I haven't done complete research. This is just something that came up. He's already started to point out Rishabh Pant. He should probably just focus on red ball cricket.
Wow.
Because the Indian team have slated him at number 3, 4, 5, 6 and hasn't proved it. So maybe it's time for him to just focus on one format. I think this goes back to his or the brief rumors or the statement that he had made that he's looking at separate teams for each format.
To be honest, I actually think Pant's better suited for Test and ODIs. In that way, I reckon Samson can rule the roost in the T20 lands because he is really good.
Yeah.
And he can bat one down if they really want someone for one down, and Samson can also bat at number 5 if they really want someone at number 5. So
interesting times.
Not a bad call if Pant only does red ball and ODIs.
Yeah, he's gonna take a charge of the team starting the Sri Lankan series later this month. So initial few games would be very interesting to watch. Hopefully we send in a full strength ODI squad to Sri Lanka for 2 reasons. One is to get a bit of match practice ahead of Champions Trophy, plus to also see the dressing room environment with all the senior players.
I also think Gigi's a classic team man though. So I reckon he's going to back every single person that's in the 11, regardless of how they perform and regardless of what they're doing. Like, we're going to see some some classic aggression. It'd be so good.
It'll be good. I want to see, those good old Australian bowlers staring at the batsman with fire in their eyes. I think that's been lacking. Indian, if you compare with good old Australian squad and the current Indian squad, that consistency exists with the Indian squad, but the only thing that was missing out was that aggression. On field, on pitch aggression.
So that's why this test series at the end of the year will be very interesting, because the one that we won, oh my god, what a game! Like during Kohli being captain, right?
There's two that we won. Which one are you referring to?
The famous Gabba one.
The India A team, top-notch India team or India B team?
You mean India C team? The Gabba wins an India C team. I mean, we had Natarajan in the 11 for that game.
Oh, yeah.
But in that last series, we saw that aggression, right? Like, and we were giving it back. And again, in the spirit of the game and everything, but it made us quite competitive. And obviously, yes, we lost, had some difficult games, but overall, I think it was good. And then this will be much better. Discipline with aggression, with the insight that Gambir has for years and years. And he's, that will make it a really good. And hopefully the test will go past day 3. They'll go past, make it competitive.
Well,
the other part I'm really interested in is I want to see how he handles the bowlers and how he strategizes with them to are we going to be full throttle attack even with the bowlers? Was it just about the batters, or is it going to be a full combination? Yeah.
What do you think he would lean towards?
Oh, he'll be full throttle across the board, I reckon. I want to see how the bowlers respond to him. That's the fun part.
True. And also, given if his approach is having separate teams with very minimal overlap across 3 formats, it'll be interesting to see how he handles Bumrah and how he finds a replacement for Bumrah if Bumrah is not part of all 3 formats.
But surely, if you're saying we're going to have some overlap, Bumrah's part of that some overlap.
Yeah.
He's the one player you want to overlap for everything.
Absolutely.
Like if BCCI says we're going to have, sorry, not BCCI, if ICC brings up T10 and we have a T10 squad, Bumrah's part of that T10
Bumrah needs to be there.
Unless we figure out how to
if we somehow get to this, if we somehow get to this 100 competition, Bumrah needs to be there.
Indian cricket team equal to Bumrah. So essentially, the selection committee is now have to look at the remaining 14 players. We know Bumrah is always in the list.
Start around that.
I honestly think Bumrah's name should be written on the 11 before the captain's name. That's how guaranteed he is in the squad.
If he thinks about this next generation, who's the one who is as close to him for Bumrah?
No one.
We gotta develop someone of finer talent.
Or developing to that potential.
I honestly think 1 to 1. Let's assume we rank bowlers from 1 to 100, right? The first 50 slots within India will just go to Bumrah. We'll just go to Bumrah.
Oh, true.
There's no one even close to what he brings to the table.
Yeah, that's true. And then who's if you had to choose someone next?
I love how this conversation's become all about Bumrah. I'm loving it. I'm just pointing it out. But I think because he's not just an all format bowler, he's an all conditions bowler at the same time.
Yeah.
He can seam the ball both directions. He can swing the ball both directions. He can reverse swing the ball both directions.
And he can
bowl a great slower ball, and he can bowl a good cutter. He's honestly got every single thing. When he needs, he can even ramp up the pace to mid 140s.
Yeah.
And you can bring him in if you want a wicket. You can bring him in if you want to slow down the pace. You can bring him in.
If you think your game, if you think the game's going out of control and you want to get the control back, you're like, "Hey, Bumrah, just come back."
That's it. I was actually going to say.
The man doesn't even think he needs rhythm. He's just like, "I'm always in rhythm. Just pull me in."
And he can bat really well. If things go well, he can hit around.
Stuart Broad.
That's a perfect segue. Talking about Stuart Broad, his opening partner in English Test arena, Mr. Anderson, is playing his close to retirement now. Final series.
Last game.
Is it last game or last series?
Last game.
Last
Oh,
No,
game.
last
okay.
game. Last game.
Oh,
He finishes
wow.
after this game.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a bit sad, I think. I think they should have let him play the whole series because he's literally 8 or 9 wickets away from Shane Warne. He plays the whole series, he gets there.
He will get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He becomes the second highest wicket taker of Test history. I mean, he's already the highest wicket taker for fast bowlers, but he gets to be in the top 2 if he plays the whole series. But yeah, again, like I think they had the interview just a couple of days ago, and they said, like he said, he's made peace with it, where he knows that it wasn't his decision. The management's asked him to leave, but again, a very gracious move that he's gotten this first game to, you know, have his little say and say bye-byes. But what a player, right? How crazy.
What a player.
Yeah, he disappeared from the international arena and then don't know which side of the bed he woke up, what dream he saw. And like, yep, I'm coming back. Like he's 40 plus, more than 40.
Yeah.
And still competing with young fast bowlers, still got the same rhythm of bowling those lovely outswingers to the right-handers and being impactful. But
I honestly don't think anyone could be 41 and still bowl pace, and not just pace.
God.
He's actually not the slowest fast bowler in the England 11 right now. Ollie Robinson, who's like half his age, bowls slower than Anderson.
And again, he's got the same rhythm, same consistency, and same wicket-taking abilities, right?
Same control, yeah.
It's not that he's just being added to the squad because of his past record. He's being in the squad because of the current form.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I'm surprised the management's like, hey, you need to be out. Like, I think given what he brings to the table, he's most effective in English conditions. But the series is in England, so just let him play it out. Like, it's all good.
Yeah,
And
I don't know.
I actually reckon he was asked to exit because the next Ashes is happening in Australia. And Australian conditions are not going to be kind to Anderson. So
one other reason could be the number of tests that they're playing between now and the World Test Championship finals.
Yeah.
So they want to, this is the whole, future generation. Get someone in, give them as much as matches as possible.
From what I've seen in the tables, they're not going to make it to the World Test Championship.
Why
so they've got 3 tests. They've got 3 tests. Could have just let him play out and get the record.
Geez.
But unless some other teams like Australia and India need to start losing a lot more games for them to come into contention. But I don't think they make it in.
But on the contrary, on the other side, the debutant. So it's nice to see how you've got one who's playing his last game and the other one playing his first game and essentially saying, "Don't worry, I'm here to fill in your shoes."
Yeah.
What
7
a
wickets.
start.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Missing,
getting 7-4 on your debut. Very closely missing a hat-trick.
To be honest, I really wished it was Anderson who did that.
Yeah.
just to get him close to that number. But
Gus Atkinson, a name to watch out in the future.
Oh, guaranteed. I mean, he's he's pretty quick too. Like for a test game, he was bowling again mid 140s consistently, and he was seaming the ball at that pace.
So good replacement. Like someone around 140s, a good swing, drops off, and then you've got someone similar. I don't again, obviously not the same. That caliber's different. That's pure class. But someone who can be matured to get too close.
That's right. So with West Indies, they've not had a great reputation as a one-day or a test nation in the recent past. It's a good way for a debutant to kick off his international career, but we cannot just judge his performance. Got to see opponents, like Australia, India, or New Zealand, or even South Africa as well, right?
Yeah.
But
it would be a good series for Anderson to finish it off. He would have so many wickets.
Exactly.
It would be like a perfect way to end it. Oh my God.
Anderson just got one tail-ender wicket in the entire game. Hopefully, the second innings, magic. Maybe the management says, "Hey, all of the bowlers, just don't bowl. Anderson, you get 10 wickets, a dream sign-up.
Yeah.
Well, we wish Anderson all the best for his future
Yes.
endeavors. A big miss to the Test cricket. Yeah, all the best. And if you're free, our podcast is open for you.
That's
Yes,
right.
please.
And welcome to the commentary side of the business. 'Cause
Oh,
that's where he's
yes.
gonna be.
Oh, yes.
And
He's-
podcasts. And podcasts.
Yeah, he'd be one
Yeah.
great person to have a chat, or and I'm sure a lot of teams would be roping him in as a bowling mentor or a coach in their squads.
The 100 would be the first one. Be like, we need someone. all good.
All right, Raj, for the next bit, I'm gonna pass it to you. You could talk us through what we're gonna do, and
Yes,
we can get started.
Yeah, so basically I've got for both of you guys, we're going to do some blind ratings. I'm going to give us the 5 key moments that I thought were the key crucial moments of the World Cup, and I want to know what your ratings are. Just rate from top 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're not going to know in what order I'm going to name these, but you need to figure out where it stands blindly on a scale of 1 to 5. Yeah. Let me start with Pat Cummins hat tricks. 2 hat tricks.
I'll put it at number 4.
Yeah, I was
4?
about to say 4 too. Yeah, I was thinking 4.
All right.
Looking at the overall tournament, there were much more magical moments.
Yeah. But you don't know. Maybe this could be the top boy that I've got in the list.
So Cummins,
It's all good. It's all good. Let's have a look. You've got 4
Cummins
slots,
for
right?
4. Cummins for 4.
For both of you guys. For both of you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. Next one. Ravi Shastri's toss announcement.
I'll put it at 3.
3. Oh wow! Above hat tricks.
In the red corner, in the blue corner. I love that intro to all the games.
What about you, Randy?
Oh, I gave it 0 because that was classic. That was the best.
How much did you give
That
it,
was the
sir,
best.
Randy?
No, I gave
You
it
said
above
0.
1. Yes, I did above 1. That was the best
Right.
thing. Yeah.
One isn't in the scale, sir.
No. So 5.
I mean 0, sir. 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough crowd here. Tough crowd.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what about the US Pakistan game?
Right. Blind reaction, going with 5 because I'm savoring for the next 2 events to be much more.
Oh.
So 2 for me. Oh, with the bullets.
Those are 2 for you. All right.
That's a 2 for me. Yeah.
And then Afghanistan qualification.
Oh, damn it. No, I want to swap. Oh,
no. Go on.
Right. I'm going to call it number 1.
Oh, my God. I
no one
expected
Afghanistan to 1 knockout New Zealand in the group stages and Australia in the Super 8. So for me, that was that's number 1.
Yeah. So that's 3 slots taken, right?
4 slots, right?
4 slots taken. Yep. So one last moment. Oof.
Randeep, what was yours?
I didn't say anything. I'm waiting for the next one because I shot myself with the foot. I shot myself with the foot.
Tell me.
Come
on, quick answers, sir. Quick answers.
Okay, fine. No, fine. I think that's 1. I think that I'll put that as 1 because that was huge. That is from where they came and what they got to. Hats off, absolute hats off. Quite the determination and the top team. And as I said before, they should start touring. Get some top teams in there. Start with T20s, get a tour in internationally, and then make your way up. I believe in you guys. You got it.
And the final one is the Surya catch.
I don't have an option. Show myself the foot.
The only options that's left for me is number 2. But it is his. Just have everyone says when you drop a catch, he's like, oh, he's dropped the game. Surya just caught the World Cup for us.
Yeah. What about you, Randeep? What number do you have left?
Obviously, 3. I only have number 3 left, right? But
Can't change, sir.
No, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change. I'm gonna obviously justify, because that obviously won us the tournament. For this, like a team and players of that caliber, and for the practice and the maturity they've got, that catch makes sense. I get the pressure of the whole tournament and the game. I get that. But for the maturity and what they've gone through, that catch was pretty good. Again, I'm not saying it's
Pretty good.
easy. Again, as I said, I'm not saying it's pretty easy, but for that caliber and that player, I thought it was really good. If you dived and caught and stuff, but he was still on his.
He literally ran over the boundary, took the catch.
But overall, we've seen a lot of those catches, right? Like it's become a bit more norm.
Not in that moment, right? Because that pressure,
but I don't have any choice.
Drama.
I'm 3.
Yeah, it's okay. You don't have to justify it.
But I'm still.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but I still give Afghanistan. I think that number 1 for Afghanistan is huge.
Yeah.
Like hats off to them. They did really well. So well done, Afghanistan.
Everything. To be honest, I think they also had a near perfect tournament. The way they played, it was crazy.
I think they only
lost
one
game.
Yeah. Hey, they lost one in the group stage as well.
India also.
Yeah. India also. Yeah. So I blame the flights. They got tired. I blame the flights.
with the Sky catch, right? I don't know if you've caught up with all the controversy around it.
The boundaries being moved and stuff.
Yeah.
The videos from every angle.
That's towards the back when he caught the catch, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the very first or second boundary that ViratKohli hit, a perfect straight drive. I can't recollect who the fielder was. He basically ran straight and knocked the boundary up and about in the first over.
Yeah.
And just before the boundary was knocked out, how they was referring to a white line and the boundary was behind it. The boundary was right on the white line.
No,
go back.
No,
I can. I'll send you guys the link to the video.
I think that the boundaries were pushed and it was agreed upon before the game. It's not just like it was pushed for that, because they would have redone the boundaries, like they would have fixed the boundaries for the innings when it restarted.
Yeah, correct. But then the what was more convincing again?
Spinning big yams.
This guy just adds like, no, actually.
It's like
so
everything.
When the whole catch happened. Yeah.
Sorry, I've been watching these videos where it says, पता है हमने मैच कहाँ पे आ रहा था. This is a serious conversation between Markran and Klasner.
Yeah.
And then they cut the shot and play that perfect straight drive where the bowler, the fielder knocks the boundary out.
It was David Miller, I'm pretty sure, who does a Superman dive to pull it in, but takes the whole boundary with him.
Yeah.
No, but the start of the controversy when obviously the game happened, so all the reels and everything was like, fielder and the video, the camera was from here, and they were all zoomed up in the on the shoe. They're like, oh look, the boundary, you can see a lift off, and then literally, I think it was about 3 or 4 days later, like when those reels were trending, was a video from Sidon. Right,
that one audience member with that $1 million
member, and you can see a gap that much, and I'm like, I'm convinced. that's that's about it. Oh my god, which was good. But again, hats off. Hats off to Afghanistan. And yes, my number 3 is controversial, but again, my the way I back it is for that caliber and the amount of training they go for, and he was practicing with that catch.
Yeah.
He was practicing that catch, so practice makes perfect
apparently
sense.
150 times since the IPL. So
yeah, see, that's why 3 makes sense. Number 1, yeah.
I feel like at some point we're gonna have to apologize to whoever's viewing these videos, because we're gonna relive this high again and again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna run
until Champions Trophy comes another.
Exactly. No, I'm sure even after Champions Trophy,
exactly.
For the next 2 years down the line as well, we're gonna talk about it.
All
right.
Yeah, this is a good.
This was pretty good, Raj. We'll bring more of these in our upcoming episodes. And that brings us to end of this episode. Thanks everyone for watching in. Do the usuals, like, share, and subscribe with all the links floating all around. And until next time, see you everyone.
Yeah,
Thanks, everyone.
bye.
Bye.